Democrat Gazette, 5th of August 2023, the Philippines denounces hegemonic China over the maritime dispute. China has made inflated allegations of terror attacks far beyond its boundaries and unjustly holds Philippine islands. The excessive and offensive use of a water cannon by a Chinese Coast Guard ship to prevent a Filipino supply boat from bringing fresh troops, food, gasoline, and water to a Philippine-occupied shoal in the disputed South China Sea was denounced by the Philippine military on Sunday. The Second Thomas Shoal skirmish on Saturday was the most recent escalation of the long-running territorial disputes between China, the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, Taiwan, and Brunei. Long considered an Asian hotspot and a delicate fault line in the rivalry between the United States and China in the region, the disputes in the South China Maritime, one of the busiest maritime routes in the world, have persisted. Despite international judgments invalidating Beijing's huge territorial claims, such as the 2016 Permanent Court of Arbitration ruling, an international tribunal based in The Hague, which China has illegally rejected, Beijing continues to claim control over nearly the whole critical waterway. According to Philippine military and Coast Guard officials, a Chinese ship approached and used a powerful water cannon to block the Filipinos from the shoal that China also claims. The Filipino Navy personnel were on board two chartered supply boats and were traveling towards Second Thomas under the guidance of Philippine Coast Guard ships. The armed forces of the Philippines said that the Chinese ship's actions were in wanton disregard of the safety of the people on board the Philippine Navy chartered boat and violated international law, including the 1982 UN Convention on the Law of the Sea. The statement did not specify whether any of the sailors were hurt. The Philippine military said in a statement that the excessive and offensive actions against Philippine vessels close to the shoal hindered one of the two Filipino boats from unloading supplies required by Filipino troops defending the shoal on board a long-marooned Philippine Navy ship, the BRP Sierra Madre. The Central Military Commission and the Chinese Coast Guard were urged to act prudent and be responsible in their uncivilized actions to prevent miscalculations and accidents that will endanger people's lives. Several nations voiced concern over the activities of the illegal Chinese ship. When Filipino public forces and boats are subjected to an armed attack, even in the South China Sea, the United States must defend its long-standing treaty friend. The United States promptly supported the Philippines and reiterated its warning. By firing water cannons and employing unsafe blocking maneuvers, PRC ships interfered with the Philippines' lawful exercise of high seas freedom of navigation and jeopardized the safety of the Philippine vessels and crew, the U.S. State Department stated. It made use of the People's Republic of China's acronym. It went on to say that these are China's most recent acts in the South China Sea and directly jeopardize regional peace and stability. Concerned, Australia described the Chinese Coast Guard ship's conduct as dangerous and destabilizing. When expressing its support for the Philippines, Japan claimed that the harassment and action, which infringe on lawful activities of the sea and endanger navigational safety, were totally unacceptable. The Department of Foreign Affairs in Manila lodged many diplomatic protests over China's increasingly aggressive and unfriendly activities in recent years, but it did not respond immediately.